Hi, this is Sandy Castell
And James Kelly.
with Behind the Scenes with Sandy Castell
And James Kelly.
and we just got off the phone with David Saxe, and this was our first premiere show of Behind the Scenes. And we're so excited because we got to talk with David Saxe, and he has produced so many shows in Las Vegas, and he grew up here, and his mother
Bonnie Saxe.
Bonnie Saxe was in the business and
produced shows herself.
He was just telling us how he learned so much from his mom and how he got involved with, helping out on the acts and stuff.
And he was such a down-to-earth person.
Very down-to-earth, very down-to-earth. And he talked a lot about, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about all the different productions, and then also about how, when people come to audition for a show, sometimes and they don't get the part, they walk away, mumbling and grumbling. But then they always come back for the next audition. And that's one of the tough things he was talking about. That's one of the challenges, that people, come to an audition, they all want to win the part, but then if they don't get it, they get frustrated, but then they always come back for the next one.
What I also liked about David was the fact that he seemed so sincere in developing an industry here in Vegas to keep people working, with the arts, with people who are dancers, singers, whatever. And that's just, that's honorable on his part.
Yeah, that was kind of a unique thing to hear. I've never heard, that side of it from a producer's point of view. Other than it's just all about them making money.
And I think
it's
probably
not really.
That's what's unique about him is that most producers probably don't even could care less about whether those people have jobs or not.
Well, we don't know that.
Well,
we don't really know that, but you don't hear about it.
Right. He's the first person I've ever heard say that.
That's the thing. You don't hear about that when you hear articles or stories about producers of a show. You just think about, oh, they're the producer of the show and they're making all the money.
Yeah.
They're making all the money. Yeah. Well, there's also a lot of headaches that go along with that.
Yeah.
And also, he said that he takes whatever money he makes, he's putting right back into doing the next production.
Right. It's like taking that chance. It's like an author who sells the first book and then takes that money and parlays it into the next one.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this show that he did, the Vegas show, that is kind of was his baby. That's been his baby because it wasn't the big, huge production. It was more of an intimate production, and taking it back to the way Vegas used to be, where it has the live orchestration and it has the dancing and the singing and the acts.
Yeah, that's what's neat to see too, is it come full circle. Because literally when his mom started out, that's what it was, the big productions. And that's how she started out in the business with Polly Boucher. So
of course, he also talked about when he was a kid and his dad was older and he was just getting into the MIDI, and he's showing his dad, hey, listen to the sound of the saxophone, and we know that those sounds were atrocious. They were with the saxophone, because my dad's a sax man also. And of course, at the time, that was when Vegas was going through that rough period of time where they were striking, and the musicians were being not used because now the instrumentation was being recorded, and then the shows were being done with, not with live musicians anymore. It was a rough time, and here he was one of the kids saying, "Hey, Dad, I got my MIDI. Listen to this sound, and I can replace a whole orchestra." Yeah. And his dad's going, "Yeah, you're replacing me. Don't forget."
Yeah. It's interesting because he really is the history of Vegas. I know you've been here your entire life, but it's probably nice to hear from someone else. Coming up here, what it was like. And even though I haven't been here my entire life, I've actually been here a couple times. So.
And the other thing that's very interesting too is he's involved in the writing process. Yeah. He's more than just the producer.
He's really hands-on.
I mean, he's a hands-on. He's, now the only thing he admitted, he said, I'm not a dancer. I'm not a dancer. So I have to bring in somebody from New York because I want this to be the best show it can be. Yeah. And, but he's involved in the writing. He writes the ideas and for the show. And
the art part of it, as far as behind the scenes
art,
with the artists.
He helps with the artistic part of it. So he's very hands-on. I like that a lot. And he invited us to come and see the show. So
and we have to go see
we're going to go see the show, and then we're going to have another show. We're going to talk about the show.
The show behind the show.
That's right. Yes. And let's see, what else did he his outreach, community outreach. ALS. His father had that. And then he was talking about how they came in and they helped. He had an aide that came in and would help with his father. And then when his father passed away, then of course they came to him and said, that we think this is going to be our last client, because we're low on funds and we can't go forward. And he was so inspired that he went out and he put together a fundraiser, brought all together these acts and performers from the Strip, put on a fundraiser, raised $300,000.
Right. Yeah.
And then he was honored, and he was almost like punked Because
February 22nd
That's right.
is David Saxe Day in Las Vegas.
I know.
Yeah.
And he went to this event, and he had no clue that he was the one that was being the honoree
Right.
until they announced his name.
Yeah.
You know, and he was surprised.
Well, we were very fortunate to have him as
Yeah.
our first
I know.
guest on the premiere show.
I know. So we just want to invite you all to come and listen to Behind the Scenes with Sandy Castell and
James Kelly.
every other Tuesday. We'll be here right here on KLAV 1230 AM on your dial.
All right. Thank you for tuning in.
Tuning in. Bye.